Karma Brands radio station.
There's a yachting song.
3 o'clock straight up on a live Imaging Tuesday on Mason and Idaho. And don't forget, the Freeway Series, Dodgers-Angels. Will the Dodgers actually win a game? You can hear it tonight at 7 o'clock right here on 710 ESPN,
Man.
courtesy of Angels Radio.
I can just feel the wind in my hair right now, sailing in the Bahamas.
What hair?
Michael Thompson's here. Andy Kamenetsky sitting in for Mace.
The smell of that salt air.
What music do you play on the yacht?
On the yacht,
Bahamas?
mostly reggae, because
Yeah.
you're in the tropics. And you can see on the yacht that we're in the Bahamas, we could be in 100 feet of water. You can see all the way to the bottom.
How long will you be there for?
A week.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, that's all I can take because I get too fat and lazy.
Now, is it true that like a lot of people hit you up for money and stuff? Weren't you telling that story years ago?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah,
I've sit next to him. His phone rings at least 3 times a year with guys,
Oh, yeah.
that don't even know him asking him for money.
Yeah. I had to block a guy. I felt so bad. I had to block somebody last month. It was just wouldn't stop. I felt so bad having to do that.
Yeah.
I know he's probably wondering what
I
happened
didn't
to
think
him.
I called that much.
Yeah, I know. I know. I thought it was Brian. I didn't know it was you.
Michael, what year were you the number 1 pick in the draft? 78?
78, the greatest draft ever. Why, you think there's a better draft than that?
Well, who was the best player in that draft? Was it you or somebody else?
You know, some guy. Let me see. Who was that guy? Some guy. You guys might have heard of him. He sort of surprised everybody. I didn't think he was that good, but he turned out to be all right. Some guy named Larry Bird.
Okay, so he went 6th, right?
Yeah, because he had another
was
year
a
to go.
Junior.
Yeah, he had one
and
more year
back
to go.
then there was a rule that if you want to waste your first-round draft pick on a junior, go ahead.
Yeah, right.
And the Celtics
Well,
did.
he was a fifth-year senior. He was coming up on 5th year.
Right. All right. So yesterday was the anniversary of the 1984 NBA draft.
Yeah.
All right. Now, most people consider that to be the greatest draft ever. I'm going to give you 2 other drafts. And, of course, this year's NBA draft is on Thursday. I'm going to give you 2 other drafts that I think, if not match it, might even be better. All right. So here's the 84 draft class. 4 first-ballot Hall of Famers. Hakeem Olajuwon, Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, John Stockton.
Yeah.
All in the same draft.
Right. 4 out of 26 players. I think it was only
All right.
2016s back then.
So I think all these guys, 3 of them are already in, and Ray Allen is possible. The 96.
Ray Allen's already in.
Is he? Okay,
Yeah.
so then they're all 4 in.
Yeah.
Kobe, Steve Nash, Allen Iverson, Ray Allen.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Great draft.
And then in 2003, LeBron, Carmelo, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh.
Yeah.
All in the Hall of Fame.
Another 4, right?
All right, so there's 4 guys in each one of those drafts. Andy, what's the best NBA draft of all time?
Ooh, this is brutally hard. I think I'm actually leaning LeBron's class.
LeBron,
All
Melo, Wade, and
Would you
Bosh.
take those 4 players over the 4 from the 84 draft?
Olajuwon, Jordan, Barkley, Stockton.
No, see, I'm taking that 4 over your 4.
Okay, here's where I keep going back
We're
and
really
forth.
going to pass on Kobe, Nash, and Iverson all in the same team?
Well, Nash and Iverson, no matchup with those other guys. Kobe, of course, does, but not Nash and Iverson.
Iverson is...
Hall of Famer, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But when you look at the 4 from 84, Hakeem, Barkley, Jordan, and who's one I'm missing?
Stockton.
Stockton? Come on.
It's back and forth for me between that and the LeBron, Wade, Melo, Bosh.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a little bit of recency bias with seeing more of those guys lately, but those are 4
Well, wait a
awfully
minute.
good
Wait a
players.
minute. In 84, who were the best 2 players in that draft? Hakeem and Jordan, right?
Yeah.
And LeBron's draft, it's LeBron and Wade.
Yeah.
Well, which 2 would you take out? Hakeem and Jordan or LeBron and Wade? You got to think about it?
It's 84.
No, right. It's not that part of it. It's the next 2. I'm thinking
Okay, you
about
got Bosh
and Melo.
Now, the next 2 are Stockton
and
Barkley.
Barkley?
I'm taking Stockton and Barkley.
I don't know.
It's
don't know.
close.
Come on.
Michael, you were in the league in 84
Yeah.
when all these rookies came in. Did you know Jordan was Jordan right away, like first time you played him, or
I
did
knew
it
he-
take some time?
Knew he was special. Knew he was going to be an all-NBA player, but to be considered the greatest ever? No, I didn't see that coming.
And you guys could have, Portland, Stu Inman was your GM.
Why does he bring
You
this up?
guys could have had Jordan, right? You had the
Why don't
second
you-
pick in that draft?
Why don't you just have me spread my legs and just kick me as hard as you can, right below the belt? You know, that's about how painful it is to remind me of this. Do you know?
Did they
how-
consider Jordan?
Yeah, they considered it, but Jack Ramsey and Stu Inman We need a center. We need a center. We need a center. We got to match up against Kareem. We got to get a center. Center.
What's crazy, too, is Jack Ramsey was like a brilliant basketball
Yes.
No,
mind.
get a load of this.
He's amazing.
Yeah. Yes.
One of Stu Inman, who was the GM, was Inman the GM that
Yes.
drafted you?
Yeah.
Okay, so
It couldn't have been that
Stu
good.
Inman, Stu Inman, the GM in Portland, was really good friends with Bobby Knight.
Mm-hmm.
So Bobby Knight called him after the Olympics and said, or like after he had worked out Jordan a few times
Yeah.
before the draft, and said, "Hey Stu, do yourself a favor and take Michael Jordan." And Stu told him what you just said.
Gotta get
he
a
goes,
center.
I already have Clyde Drexler.
Yep.
They play the same position. I need a big guy. We're going to take Sam Bowie. And he goes, Bobby, I need a center. I can't take him. And Bobby Knight says he told Stu Inman, Stu, then play Jordan at center.
Yeah.
Because he's that good. You're going to regret it. And do you guys remember who the GM of the Bulls was?
Rod Thorne.
Rod Thorne, who
Yep.
went on to work for the NBA for a lot of years. And he felt very fortunate that Jordan landed in
Yeah.
his lap.
I used to tease Michael Cooper and Byron and Magic. Be sitting back of the bus or sitting in the locker room. I used to tease them all the time. When I became a Laker, I said, you know what? If we would have drafted Jordan, number one, y'all wouldn't have 4 rings right now. He said, I used to tell him that because I thought we would definitely win one. Don't you think we'd have won with Clyde Drexler, Jim Paxson, me, Kenny Carr, Michael Jordan, Fat Lever, Darnell Valentine? We would have had a squad. And I used to tell Magic, you guys would have won. I'm not saying you wouldn't have won, but you wouldn't have 4 rings.
Now, what was your reaction in the moment when they took Bowie?
Because he was kind of coming for your position,
yeah,
right?
and I could either slide over to center to forward, so I didn't mind that so much.
Did you think it was a good pick?
Yeah, because Sam Bowie was not a bust. I know he didn't make a Hall of, but folks, he could play. If Sam Bowie was playing today, he'd be an all NBA. He had NBA All-Star talent. He just got hurt. He was a big man back in those days, 7'2", who could shoot a 3, which we didn't do back then. But he also had post-up game. He could run the floor, and he was a great shot blocker. If he would have stayed healthy, he wouldn't have justified being drafted over Jordan, but he would have been a big-time NBA player. This just shows you how great Hakeem is, because nobody blames Houston for picking him over Jordan. That never comes up. It shows you how great he is.
Shaq says Olajuwon's the best center he ever played against.
Easily. He was the toughest guy I ever had to guard.
So, Michael, I know it's different now than it was when you were drafted, but 2 days before the draft in 1978, did you know that the Blazers were taking you?
Yeah, I kind of had an idea. I was flown to New York by my agent. This is how different it is now. Back then, we didn't have social media, of course.
The draft wasn't even on TV,
Didn't
right?
even have talk radio. Draft wasn't on TV. So they flew me back there a couple of days before the draft, and I heard that the Blazers are going to draft you number 1 is what they told me. The Pacers had the number 1 pick, but they traded it to Portland for the 3rd pick and Johnny Davis, so they switched positions. So they told me, you're going to be picked number 1. We're going to fly you into New York. You're going to meet with Larry O'Brien, shake hands, photo op after you get drafted. Your name gets called. We're going to be in a kitchen, and you're going to come in and shake the commissioner's hand. Someone's going to take a Polaroid picture, and that's going to be it. And that was it.
And now it's a multi-million-dollar enterprise.
It's like the Academy Awards.
There was no green room.
No green room back then. It
Okay.
wasn't even a green closet.
So fast forward then, years later, Clay's draft year was 2011.
2011, yeah.
Did you and Julie go to the draft
Yeah,
with him?
we went to the draft that year. We had heard Bill Duffy was his agent, and we had heard that
Bill
Clay
Duffy, who you went to college with.
went to college
Minnesota,
with,
right?
yeah. We had heard that Clay is going to be a lottery pick. We just don't know where. Detroit had the 7th pick, and they were thinking about Clay, but they drafted Brandon Knight instead.
Okay.
So, and then Sacramento had the 10th pick, so there might have been a chance he might go there. Wayne Cooper, my former teammate at the time in Portland, was the assistant GM at Sacramento, and he was begging Sacramento, draft Clay. But Paul Westphal, the coach at the time, didn't think Clay was a first-round pick. So they just passed on Clay and picked Jimmy Fredette. And,
wow.
Yeah. And so, but I went to Clay's workout with Jerry West and Joe Lacob over at LA Sports Fitness.
Jerry was working for the Warriors
at
that
Warriors
point?
at the time. He was a consultant. So Clay went to work out for the Warriors, and Clay a couple other players. Anyway, at the place where the Clippers used to practice. I forget the name of that place.
Spectrum?
Spectrum.
Yeah.
And so Clay worked out, and at the end of the workout, Joe Lacob walks over and said, "Don't worry, we're drafting that. We're going to draft your kid." Because Jerry West, that's our guy
Had
right
Jerry known Clay at all?
there. Yeah,
like
growing
being a
up,
little
yeah,
kid
from
and
growing
stuff?
up and stuff, yeah, being around the Lakers. And so Jerry recognizes talents right away. Says he's the guy for us right there. And so they told me that Klay was going to be, if he was there at number 11, that was their guy. So we went back to New York, had a great weekend and everything, and they really treated us like kings and queens back there. It's a great experience for the family. So it's good that Jaime Jaquez gets to go and his family gets to go and sit in the green room, because obviously they told him to show up. That means he's probably going to be a first round pick.
That's got to be a relief too. Like when you hear from somebody like Jerry West.
Yeah.
If Klay's available, we are taking him. Don't worry about it, because you know he's in good hands.
I'll tell you a weird story about Jerry West. So Michael and I went to China with the Lakers right around the time Klay got drafted. I think we were there in 2012 or 2013. And so these hotels we stayed in China were unbelievable.
Yeah.
And they had these giant meal rooms on the second floor. And the two people who could walk into either meal room, like I obviously couldn't go in the Warriors room, but Michael could go in both the Warriors and the Lakers, and Jerry West could go. So Michael and I are just sitting around eating, and I don't know if you remember this, Michael, but Jerry West walks over to us and he says, "Let me tell you something." He goes, "These two guys," and he's pointing at Steph and Klay, "are the best shooting backcourt I've ever seen." And I went, "Jerry, you played with Gail Goodrich." He goes, "Gail and I were better scorers. These guys are better shooters." He said, "I'm telling you, they don't miss." He goes, "Wait till you see." He goes, "They do not miss." And I can't remember if Mark Jackson was there yet. I think he was.
He was
and
the coach.
Mark overheard it. Mark comes over and he goes, "He's right." He goes, these two guys, nobody, and everybody thought they were crazy.
Yeah.
That Jerry and Mark were crazy.
And Mark said it publicly over the air.
Right. And we were like, wait a minute, they're better than Jerry West and Gail Goodrich. And they're like, yes, you guys aren't. They were looking at Mike like, you guys aren't understanding this. These two might be the best two shooters ever. And we're like, oh, this is hyperbole. We're in October. We're in China. We're in preseason. And boy, were they right.
Yeah, I think they are.
I think if you had a shooting contest to save the world, are you putting any? Yeah. Like I went to college with Reggie Miller, and Reggie was an unbelievable shooter. I think Steph and Klay are better.
I think Reggie would say Steph and Klay are better than him.
Yeah, Klay's won 4 championships, won a couple of gold medals for Team USA, but he says one of his proudest moments and one of the things he thinks is cool is he beat Steph in the 3-point shooting contest.
Right.
Because how great Steph is.
Well, and there aren't very many people that can say that.
Right.
You know.
No, they're unbelievable. Like, Klay is amazing. Like, he's an amazing shooter. And he's still thought of as number 2 behind Steph. Yeah. Which really speaks to how incredible Steph is. I mean, like, think about how Seth Curry feels.
Yeah.
Seth Curry is an unbelievable shooter in his own right.
Yeah.
People forget he's in the league.
Yeah.
I remember I was covering I covered Jason Capono in college at UCLA, and Jason was a really good catch and shoot guy.
Oh yeah, he was.
And he had a super quick release. And I was with somebody and I said, watch how quickly Capono catches and releases this ball. And he's like shooting practice shots. He's playing back. And the guy looks at me and he goes, "You ever seen Steph and Klay shoot?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Twice as fast." And that's the thing nobody gives those two guys credit for. Klay sometimes holds the ball for think about this, less than a second. The night that Klay had the 39-point third quarter, Michael?
37, yeah.
Yeah, 37-point third quarter. He took 6 dribbles.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
6.
just catching and shooting. He was in the zone.
They just kept fighting. He just coming off screens, running, shooting fights. So Thursday is going to change the lives of a lot of these young guys.
Yeah,
and
so
Michael's been through it as a dad and as a player. And I think 84 is the answer.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, those other drafts are unbelievable, but Olajuwon, Jordan, Stockton, and then who's Barkley?
2011's draft's pretty good with Klay, Kyrie, Kawhi. Jimmy Butler was the 30th pick in the draft that year.
Yeah, unbelievable.
It's pretty good.
All right, yeah, that's crazy. All right. Oh, by the way, it's Michael's game today. Game of Games is coming up in about half an hour, and so Jacob and Ronnie will be in here to play Game of Games with Michael. And coming up next, a man was paid his final paycheck, $915 in pennies, by a bitter ex-boss. But that's not the way that story ended. I'll tell you how it ends next. Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA.
If you're hiring
Live Imaging Tuesday on Mason in Ireland. Andy sitting in for Mace. The great Michael Thompson is here. Christopher Holmes on Twitter. He's a big yacht rock guy. He says we're missing out on Toto being on the... well, Funchy mentioned that. Toto's on the Mount Rushmore.
Played some Toto.
Did we play Toto?
Yeah, we played some Toto.
Did we?
I believe so.
And he says we should play more Chicago.
No, we played Rosanna, Chris.
Oh, yeah. That's Toto. But Chicago yacht rock?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit?
A little bit. Not, they've got some rock songs, but Peter Cetera led love ballads. A little
I
yacht
think
rocky.
more like 80s Chicago or Cetera solo feels a little more yacht rocky.
Like
early,
hard to say I'm sorry?
Yes, exactly. Like a hard to say I'm sorry. Like early Chicago's more like blood, sweat, and tears, a lot of horns, more like
I like it when there's a lot of horns. Anyway, Friday, July 14th, our All-Star Friday night at West Covina Sports Complex. You're going to be out there, right, Andy?
Yeah.
It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
Team Mace versus Team
We're going
Sliwa.
to do a tight 30.
If you want your
I'll
special
believe that when I see it.
it is free of charge to come on out and root on the teams and have fun with us all day long. But if you want special, closer tickets, you can RSVP right now at ESPNLA.com. Just click the All-Star Friday Night logo. Thanks to our friends Mike Capozio and Rotolo Chevrolet. Now, John, I know you're busy that night. You're not going to make that one.
Yeah, no, I turned 60 the next day.
Oh, that's right.
So I'm going to be on vacation.
What are you going to do for turn 60?
I'm going to be... BAM! Yeah,
Well,
hopefully.
Wow.
And I can dream, Chris.
You're going to pull something doing that.
That's what John's going to do that night, too.
Well, he won't be pulling it.
Sadly.
Somebody else will be pulling.
Good night, everyone.
It is a
60.
final.
Alan, you look young.
For
do
all
good.
of us.
Well,
You're
I'm doing
doing
great. Are you dye your hair?
Not always, but
Oh.
I have been known to, if I get like super grand, like if I get like
Like the
Polly
side of Maya?
walnuts, yeah, I put a little dab.
I
in
got
it.
a lot of Paulie Walnuts.
Three
going
guys
on.
in Southern California do not get gray. Ireland, Steve Hartman, and Jim Hill. What's your guys' secret?
Yeah, well, there are many.
I saw Jim at LACC over the weekend. He
It's
was
the same, huh?
Oh, he's just the best.
Yeah, he is.
Everyone's in golf gear. He walks in his suit,
Yeah.
looking good.
Besides, I was so happy Rory didn't win.
Really?
He's such a little whiner. I hate the way he just attacked those guys on the live tour.
Ricky choked again. I'm done rooting for
I know,
Ricky.
man.
A lifetime
didn't I
of
tell you,
rooting for
Ireland, he was
Ricky.
going to choke?
Oh,
Yeah, I felt bad for him, but the guy that won was a good story.
Oh, yeah,
it's
man.
a fine story, but nobody wanted that. We wanted Ricky or Rory.
I didn't want Rory.
Then I saw Kurt Sandoval. I walked right by him.
I didn't like Rory.
Why?
I don't know.
Because he dropped Travis's home run
I
in the
think so,
softball
yeah.
game last year.
Just felt good to walk by him.
Yeah.
All right, Mason and Ireland continues right now.
All right, so there was this guy, and he was working at an auto shop in Georgia, and he had a dispute with his boss, so he left. And his boss didn't like the way it ended, and he owed him a final paycheck of $915. So the boss thought it would be funny if what really set the boss off was he asked for his final check a couple of times. He didn't get it, and he went to the Department of Labor and filed a complaint. And so the boss was upset that he filed the complaint. So he owed him $915. He took 91,500 pennies and he glued them onto a board and dumped them in the guy's driveway with the pay stub and wrote an expletive on it. In other words, so now the guy can't say he didn't pay him, but at the same time, it's going to be very difficult to use the money. So, first of all, is that creative or mean?
Mean.
What the boss did?
Mean. Childish, immature,
Yeah,
unprofessional.
it's a jerk move.
Yeah.
Okay, it's more than that.
It's probably not legal.
Correct.
It's not?
I didn't know it. I had the same reaction you did, Michael. This guy filed a formal complaint with the police and labor officials, which accused the boss of retaliation. And the judge has now ruled, the boss and his company will now pay $39,900, $40,000
Good.
in back wages and liquidated damages to 9 employees, including this guy.
Where's he going to get all those pennies?
Yeah. And I would imagine he gets to keep the pennies, too.
No, I mean, I'm sure it's illegal to make it difficult for an employee or even an ex-employee to actually use their paycheck. That can't be legal.
Is it because he glued them? If you just had them in a jar, would that have been different?
No, but even then, it's you have to go.
I think it's
through
retaliatory, which
Right.
is what
Like,
the law says.
If you have $915 as a paycheck and it's all in pennies, you have to then effort to try to use the money from your employer. That can't be legal.
All right, so here's what it says, Andy. Workers are entitled to obtain the wages they earn without fear of harassment or intimidation. That was the key to the ruling. So they considered the penny stunt harassment. And at the end of the day, a bunch of other employees had similar issues with this guy. So it's going to cost them $40,000. And the guy who got the pennies, the guy who got the $915 in pennies, is going to come out of this with $8,700.
Good for him.
And I thought, well, if you just think you're outsmarting the system by, sticking 91,000 pennies on a board, it ain't working.
Well, here's the thing, too. This guy did this to multiple ex-employees. So
he jerked him around.
Right.
Yeah.
He's clearly a jerk. He clearly deserves this. I'm glad to see it happen.
Yeah. I'm sure the guy thought while he was doing it, oh, this is going to be so funny. And it ends up costing him $40,000.
No, he doesn't think it's going to be funny. He thinks he's sticking it to this guy.
All right. Here's another one.
Might be a rare penny in there someplace. Worth $1 million.
Really should go through all the pennies.
Insult to injury.
Yeah.
All right. So I mentioned the NBA drafts Thursday. Some guy on TikTok found a loophole. He was reading the CBA one night. He may be the only guy that has read him and Eric Pincus are the only people who have read the CBA from start to finish. Larry Kuhn, yeah, the great Larry Kuhn. But so this guy read the CBA. His name is Jordan Haber. He didn't play basketball in college. He didn't play in high school or middle school. He's just a guy. He's a lifelong Miami Heat fan. And he figured out, all I got to do to put myself in the draft is fill out the NBA paperwork. It doesn't cost money. I don't need any. I don't need to go play or work out or do anything. So he's in the draft. He's part of the 2023 draft class, as he jokes, soon to be undrafted class. But he's on the list of players that can be drafted on Thursday night. Is this creative and funny or stupid?
A little bit of both. I mean, it is creative. It is funny. It is stupid. It can be all of the above.
Here's the rule. A person can be eligible for the draft if he is at least 19 years of age during the calendar year in which the draft is held and has one NBA season has elapsed since the player's graduation from high school. So that's it. I mean, he checked both boxes, and now he's in the draft.
It really is just a joke to amuse himself.
Right.
Because since nobody's going to call his name and there's going to be no real coverage of him, for all intents and purposes, nobody knows about this except him.
Yeah.
He's basically just amusing himself.
So in the month since he posted a video on a TikTok account of him making himself eligible for the draft, he has received nearly 96,000 followers, and he updates almost daily with posts. He has indicated a full documentary is in the works. I don't know if it warrants a full documentary. What do you think?
I don't think it warrants this much TikTok coverage.
Yeah.
His journey has
not
included
that interesting.
Right.
His journey has included getting comments on his posts from various NBA and NFL teams, being filmed shooting hoops for Good Morning America, and receiving an invite to the draft by the event's host, the Barclays Center in Brooklyn.
Okay, what you just read there shows for certain we overuse the phrase journey.
Yeah.
Like, he's not on a journey right now. This guy is not embarked on a journey. He did essentially like a prank.
I'd put him in the green room just as a story.
He's actually going to be. He's actually going to be at the draft.
Yeah, Barclays invited him.
Why?
Just as a novelty.
Jeez.
And so, yeah, I don't get why this is a big story, but apparently it has turned
It's
into
not a
one.
journey.
Yes.
I am not calling this a journey.
All right, coming up next, something that Bergman can do that might put him in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you what it is next. Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA.
This is
Live Imaging Tuesday, about 3:30 in the Southland. Mason and Ireland and Chicago. There you go. A little Chicago. So get this, John. By the way, Michael Thompson's here. Andy in from Ace. Over the weekend, at my home away from home, Black Gold Golf Club,
Yes,
where
sir.
I think we all agree I'm the mayor of Black Gold. I was at LACC for the
Joe
US
Riley's the mayor. You're like the chief of staff.
Open. I like that.
Okay.
I liked it being in the COS.
Yeah.
Paige Sporonic and
was
the
there?
Bob Does Sports guys, which are great guys on social media.
You met Paige in person?
Years ago, but I wasn't there when they were there.
Okay.
So I missed Paige playing Black Gold.
Was she there this past weekend?
Yeah.
And you missed her?
I missed her.
Can she play?
Apparently she eagled on 18.
Really?
Which
18's
is
hard,
a
too.
hard par 5. Wow.
Travis and I both double bogeyed that hole in the famous match.
Yes. By the way, we're trying to figure out how we can get that back if Sliwa plays. Sliwa and Trav versus you and either Mason or somebody of your choice. Maybe Corporate Greg. He's been playing a lot of golf.
I'd
In
rather
fact,
play with Greg than Mason.
How did that go on Monday at the club?
Greg won all the money.
Did he really?
Yeah, all the money.
Yep.
He because he got all the junks. And if you get all the junks in my game, you get the 5 main junks, a birdie, a sandy, a barky, a greenie, and a poley. Your dots double. So Greg got 8 dots, and he got all the big 5, and he doubled them. He got $16 from each guy, so he made, what's that, $50, $48.
Did you act to your? So you had other people playing within the group?
Yeah.
Are those people your friends?
One of them is my friend, and one is Tim, who I just play with, and we hate each other.
Okay. Did you act like you liked Greg in that setting?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
Greg
you
had
acted,
fun.
you acted well. Yeah, I had a great time. I
Yeah.
actually really enjoyed it, and I
Will
want to
he be
keep playing
back
more.
to the club?
Whenever he wants.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at this. Corporate Greg moving up in the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like the course too.
Yeah,
It's a little hilly, but it's really nice.
Well, it's on a mountain, so
Yeah.
it's
Well,
it's
mountain
gonna be
gate,
hilly.
you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good.
All right, there
All right,
you go.
well, I'm sorry I missed Paige. We could invite her in here
We can, yes.
and just see what happens.
You know, Chris, the NBA draft's coming up on Thursday, right?
Yes.
Are you going to cover it? You going to follow it?
Probably for work.
Kamenetsky, you going to watch it?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a player out there I am hoping and dying. I hope in the Lakers draft.
Who is it?
I think he'd be perfect for the Lakers. He's a good shooter. He's a wing player. They've got to draft my boy out of Kansas, Andy Dick.
No, it's Grady Dick.
Grady Dick.
Yeah.
Grady Dick.
No,
I
Grady
Andy
Dick.
Dick is a totally different person.
Andy Dick is an actor.
Oh, that's right.
Who keeps
Andy
getting
Dick.
in
He
trouble.
could be in the
draft
front line.
Andy Dick.
No.
But,
Grady Dick.
but
I mean,
Grady
that's
He will
asking
be
for trouble.
terrible.
Hey.
If you think Zion's got issues,
Yeah.
No, Grady Dick is a really good
Oh,
player.
he's a player. He's for real.
Yeah.
I just want to hear you and Bill McDonald call the game.
I think we'd refer to him as Grady. Give it up like Kobe.
Oh, Grady's on Sanford and Son.
Yeah. Like the one word name. LeBron,
Yeah,
Kobe, Grady.
Yeah, whoever drafts him, how they gonna maneuver
Will they
around
sell
him?
the shirts in the
Yeah, what are you
gift
gonna do
shop
about the
that they had
jersey?
at Kansas? Did
Yeah.
you see the shirts they had
No.
at Kansas, Chris?
The girls, yeah.
Yeah, just said I heart and Grady's last name.
Yeah.
What do you think? Would that work?
I think it would work, but I don't know if the Lakers would like that.
No, but he's going to get drafted.
Oh, but heck, he's a first-round pick, yes.
He's probably a lottery pick.
Could be, yeah.
And we need shooters.
Yep.
So I would not be totally upset.
So
if
on the jersey,
Lakers drafted
on the-
Grady Dick.
Back in the jersey?
On the jersey, would they use just the first initial with his last name?
Oh, no, it's got to be the last name.
So it would be G. Dick,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grady Dick.
I
Yeah,
played
maybe.
against
I
I
don't know.
played against a guy in Italy. I'll never forget this. His last name was Fuchka. He's from Serbia.
Right.
How'd they spell it?
The F word with an A on the end.
Really?
That's right.
Well, no wonder he changed the pronunciation.
And it was on the back of his jersey.
Yeah.
Would that have
There's
worked
a
in the
hockey
NBA?
player named Miroslav Satan that is spelled Satan.
Right, say Satan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this wouldn't be the first one. One of my mom's best friends growing up, she married a guy, and his last name was Dick. And the kids, when they got older, changed their name.
Yeah.
They just didn't. They couldn't. Yeah. They didn't want to live with it.
Yeah. Oh, I just
Yeah.
hope you get Grady from Kansas.
Grady from Kansas. That's what I'll call
You can
him.
put the whole
Grady
name.
from Kansas.
You can put the whole name on the back of his jersey.
They want the whole name?
Yeah,
His
you
last
can put
name?
the whole
Oh,
thing.
okay. Hey, Bergman.
Yeah.
Here, I want to get this in before we go to Game of Games.
Okay.
How fast can you, if I scramble a Rubik's Cube and hand it to you, how fast can you fix it?
Probably about between 2 and 3 minutes.
Really?
That's it. That's all it would take.
That's pretty good.
2.5. Yeah.
All right, so maybe I oversold that you can get into the Guinness Book of World
Oh,
Records.
I can't do what this guy did.
Okay.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
Max Park, a 21-year-old speed cuber, broke the record for fastest time to solve a Rubik's Cube, 3.1 seconds.
Yeah. No,
And
that's
apparently they do give him 30 seconds to look at it. So he looks at it for 30 seconds, and then he says, ready? The second he touches it, he goes, 3.1 seconds,
Wow.
new world record.
That sounds physically impossible.
It's on YouTube. Google it.
Yeah.
You can watch
It's
it.
real. It is real.
Matter of fact, here,
Absolutely.
Andy, I'll send it to you right now.
Oh, I believe you. I'm just
it's-
saying, like, that you can act, like, forget figuring it out. Just that you can actually move your wrists and the sides that quickly.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's all an algorithm, and so it's actually not. They know the way to do it where you can do it really fast. There is just an algorithm that's not that hard once you figure it out.
So I'm showing it to Andy right now. He takes 30 seconds to look at the cube, and then he basically solves it in 3 seconds. I thought
It's
the
probably
same
like
thing.
5 moves.
I thought it was physically impossible to do it in 3 seconds.
I mean, he's basically the Rain Man of Rubik's cubes.
I don't know, and the place goes crazy. But he now
What
holds
was the record before that?
like 4 seconds, and now he's got it down to 3.13. And he now holds records, Greg. This was a 5-year-old record. Oh no, Michael, I was wrong. The old record was 3.47. But he holds the record for not just a regular Rubik's cube, but like 5x5 cube, 7x7 cube. No matter what they give him,
you know
he just
who's good
solves
with-
it first.
Who's good with Rubik's cubes? He's not this guy,
Right.
But is good at it. We mentioned him earlier. Cap guru Eric Pincus.
Is really good with
Yeah, he's
Rubik's
very
cubes?
good. We should have a contest between him and Bergman.
Yeah, I have to play with it again.
I
a little bit, but
gave Bergman a cube once, and I think you did do it in 3 minutes.
Yeah, it was like right. I mean, if you mess up one thing, you. Have
I
to
gave him
fix it
2, and he
all.
got it in 3.
Like Pincus, I covered the Lakers for years with him. He used to have a Rubik's cube with him sometimes. He'd just be like fiddling with it during downtime.
I have one
Is
in my
there-
office. I gave mine to Mark Cates. He has it in the back. He can do it too.
he's a fast Rubik's cube guy.
Yeah,
Yep.
Eric is really good at it.
So I'm trying to figure out. It's not like you can go online to file for a Guinness Book of World Records. You just have to find a record you could beat. But it's not hard. You basically register for an account, you get the paperwork, you fill it out. It's all electronic, and you're off and running. You just have to find something you can do. I can't do a Rubik's cube.
In 3 seconds?
That's amazing. It doesn't seem physically possible. You're right.
Damn, it's kind of crazy. All right, Game of Games is here, and it is Michael's game.
Yes.
Bergman, what are the Game of Games standings?
So you are in the lead, Ireland, which I really hate saying out loud, but you are in the lead with 5 since you won yesterday. I'm, like always, right back behind you with 3.
Okay.
And then everybody else has 2. Or
All right,
1.
so it's anybody's month, especially being that it's only the 20th. And then, Greg,
Yeah.
I'm out 3 days next week. And that's when they're worth 2.
Yeah.
So you're going to be able to storm back.
Oh, I'm going to storm
All
back.
right, Michael, do you want to give us a hint as to what the game is about?
This game today will honor Jacob and Ronnie.
Oh, good.
Oh, wow.
Is Jacob here yet?
Yes,
Yes.
he's here. Just
Yes,
walked
he's
in.
Okay. Oh, perfect. All right. So before we get to Jacob, let me tell you about Terranea. If you listen to the show, you know that I love Terranea. It's a luxury resort like no other. It is spectacular. 102 acres on the Palos Verdes Peninsula. I've gone to Terranea every year for the last 10 years, probably 2-3 times a year. And the reason I keep going back is there's nothing like it. You can see dolphins and whales swimming along the ocean, 270-degree panoramic views, luxury accommodations, and you can get any type of room. You can get a bungalow, you can get a casita, you can get a villa, you can get a regular room. Once you're there, they've got an oceanfront spa, an award-winning golf course, 4 swimming pools. They also have 4 restaurants that have every kind of food you can imagine. You want to go casual, you can go to Nelson's, or you can go to the Catalina Grill. You feel like sushi, you can go over to Bashi. You want to go formal, they got a 5-star restaurant there, Marcel, that is fantastic. Endless amounts of tranquility at Terranea. Spend the whole day at the spa. You can go down and paddleboard. You can ride electric bikes. You can kayak, tide pooling, guided hikes. You name it, they've got it. And here's the best part. Their customer service is unbelievable. Michael and I stay at over 100 hotels a year. Ralph Grippo, the guy who runs Terranea, I've known for 20 years, is the best hotel executive in the world. Ralph will not rest until you have a great experience at Terranea. And trust me, you will. Check it out on their website at Terranea.com. Terranea, Terranea, Terranea.com.
Games on the #1 sports radio show in LA, Mason and Ireland. Game of Games. Game of Games presented by CallJacob.com. Call Jacob. Everyone loves a fighter, but in this town, winning matters, especially after an accident. So remember, anyone can fight, but CallJacob.com is here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to CallJacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. We got the jingle. Call Jacob. Thank you. Game of Games time. Take it away, Mace.
All right, no Mace today, but Andy Kamenetsky's filling in. Michael Thompson's here. And on Tuesdays, always, Jacob Emrani is here. Hi, Jacob. How are you?
Hi, John. How are you?
I am excellent. We're glad to have you here, especially today. Tell them why, Michael.
Today is Tuesday, and Shake and Bake Jake. Jacob Emrani is in studio, LA's best lawyer, by the way. So today's game is multiple choice about the law in honor of Emrani, the Empire.
All right, so we're going to make Jacob go last because he's the only one that went to law school.
That's right.
All right,
So
here we go.
This should be an open and shut case for you, Emrani.
Thank you, John.
All right, here we go. Currently, how many lawyers are there in the United States? 1.3 million, 1.4 million, or 1.5 million?
Funch.
1.5.
Greg.
1.3.
Andy.
1.5.
I'll go 1.4. Jacob.
I'll go with 1.5 as well.
It is 1.3.
Hey, that's me on the
Bergman on the board. Okay.
The first law school existed in 450 BC in this modern city: Cairo, Beirut, or Athens?
Greg.
Athens.
Andy.
Athens.
I will also say Athens. Funch.
I'll say Cairo.
Cairo. Jacob.
Athens.
It is Beirut.
Nobody.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Wow.
Oh, wow.
right.
I just thought the Greeks kind of
Yeah,
ran the world.
that's
back
exactly
then.
what
Yeah.
it is. Yeah,
Stephen Backus. You ever heard of him, Jacob?
I have.
So you got to go last then.
No, I
Relation
haven't.
to Jim, Michael?
Jim Backus, that's right. Backus became the youngest lawyer in U.S. history when he passed the bar in 1986 at what age? 17, 18, or 19?
Andy.
17.
I'm going to agree with Andy and say 17. Funch.
18.
Greg.
I'm going 17 also.
Jacob.
I'm going 18.
It is 17.
Yeah. So Andy, John, and
I thought that was a
Greg.
giveaway.
Yeah, I thought that was, since you heard of him.
Yep.
The first woman to become a lawyer in America happened in what year? 1859, 69, or 79?
This one's me. I'm going to go 1879. Funch.
1869.
Greg.
79.
Andy.
59.
Jacob.
I do want to say none of these questions are what they teach us in law school. Right? So as much as you want to say that it's open and shut,
Yep.
Yeah.
I will go with 69.
It
as
is
well.
69.
Yeah,
Okay.
finally.
So Jacob got one. Did anyone else get 69? Funch. All right. So Funch. Here's the score. Greg has 2. Everybody else has 1. Go ahead. Mike.
True or false? Everybody guesses this one, true or false. In
Okay.
Jacob's ancestral country of Iran, it is forbidden or against the law for a man to wear sleeveless T-shirts and or short pants. True or false?
Funch.
True.
Greg.
True.
Andy.
False.
I'm going to go false. Jacob.
False.
It is true.
Oh. Really?
Yep.
All right,
It's
so
the
we got
law.
Wow, Funch and Greg.
All right. So Greg's got a 3-2 lead over Funch. Everybody else has 1.
True or false? Jerry Springer was a lawyer. True or false?
Greg, this one's you.
That is true.
Andy.
False.
I know he was the mayor of Cincinnati, but I don't know if he was a lawyer. I'm going to say true. Funch.
False.
Jacob.
I'm going true.
It is true.
Hey.
True or false? Phil Donahue was a lawyer. True or false?
This one is Andy.
False.
I'm going to also say false. Funch.
I'll say true.
Greg.
I'm going to say false.
Jacob.
I'm going false as
False.
Okay.
False. Sorry,
So-
Funch, you're falling apart.
All right. Everybody but Funch got that?
Everybody with Funch.
All right. So Greg's up to 5. Jacob 3, John 3, Funch 2, Andy 2.
The lowest wages for lawyers are earned in which state? Alaska, South Dakota, or Montana?
Alaska, South Dakota, or
Yearly
Montana.
wages.
All right, so Greg, you have
Alaska?
the lead. I'll have you go first. Alaska, South Dakota, or Montana?
Let's go with Montana.
Andy.
Alaska.
I'm also going to say Alaska. Funch.
Montana.
Jacob.
Because I'm behind, I'm going to go South Dakota.
It is Montana.
Hey.
83,000 a year.
Boy, Bergman's running away with this thing.
Should have gone to law school, Bergman.
Seriously? Well, I do have lawyers in
Did
the family.
anyone guess
Two of them.
Montana besides Bergman?
Nope, just Berg.
Funch.
Me.
Funch
Oh,
did.
Funch did. Okay, so Funch has 3 now, but Greg has 6. All
Law-
right, keep going, Michael.
Lawyers make the highest yearly wages. Where? In New York, D.C., or here in L.A. at Jacob and Ronnie's.
All right, Greg. New York, D.C., or L.A.?
So it would make most sense to be in New York, but for some reason D.C. is calling to me. I'm going to say New York, though.
Andy.
I'm going to also say New York.
I need to catch up, so I'm going to say D.C. Funch.
I'll say California.
Jacob.
I'll go DC as
It
well.
is D.C.
Okay, so
I knew
John
DC was the right
and
one.
Jacob got it. All right, so you still lead 6-4, Greg.
All right.
What percentage of lawyers in the United States are black? 2, 3, or 4%?
Jesus.
Greg.
God, it sinks it so low. 2.
Andy.
I'm going to be hopeful and say 4.
I'll meet you in the middle and say 3. Funch.
4.
Jacob.
I'll go with 3 as well.
It is 4%.
Yeah!
All right, so who got it? Andy and Funch?
Yep.
Okay, so now Greg 6, Jacob, John, and Funch 4, and Andy 3. Go ahead, Michael.
Perry Mason's secretary was named what? Stella, Ella, or Della?
First of all, great question. Bergman, Stella, Ella, or Della?
Stella, Ella, or Della. I don't know this at all. I'll say.
You don't know Perry Mason?
I know who Perry Mason is. I don't know the show. Della.
Andy.
I've never seen an episode of Harry Mason.
Yep, me neither. We
gonna
weren't alive in the 40s, Michael.
I'm going to say Stella.
I'm also going to say Stella. Funch.
I think I know this one. Della.
Jacob.
I'm going to go with the E and M Ronnie and go with Ella.
It is Della.
There you go. All right, there you go,
Bergman
Funchy.
and Funch.
They remade Perry Mason on HBO recently.
That's right.
Okay.
Oh, did they really?
You've never seen that either.
Michael, how many? You got a
I
few more
3
left?
or 4 left.
Okay.
Of the 9 seasons and 271 episodes of Perry Mason, how many cases did he lose? 0, 1, or 2?
Oh, that's a good one, Greg.
All right, so, God, it
9
makes
seasons.
sense to be 0, but I bet you they screwed around once and did the 1. But I'm going to say 0.
All right. I need to catch up, so I'm going to say 1. Andy.
0.
Funch.
2.
Jacob.
I will go with 1.
0. He never lost a case.
Never lost the case.
Never lost a
Bergman
case.
running away with it.
All right,
Did
buzz.
anyone get that but you?
Me and
You and Andy. Okay.
All right, buzzing with your name on this one. Anybody knows. The legal dream team of lawyers for O.J. Simpson.
Jacob
Okay, go ahead, Jacob.
is, what's his name? Not Robert Shapiro, not...
3,
2,
2,
1.
1. Okay, Jacob's out of this
The
one.
legal
Greg.
dream team of lawyers for O.J. Simpson consisted
Go
of...
ahead, Greg.
Christopher Darden.
No.
All right,
The
you're out.
legal dream team of lawyers for O.J. Simpson consisted of 7 lawyers. Who can name the 7 of the most famous?
John.
Go ahead.
Okay. So Barry Scheck,
Yep. All right, that's what I didn't think you would get.
Alan Dershowitz,
Yep.
Johnny Cochran,
Yep.
F. Lee Bailey.
Yep. You need 1, 2, 3 more.
Okay. Cochran, Bailey, Barry Scheck. All right.
Come on.
3,
2.
I think I'm out.
Yep.
1.
Give me this.
Oh, wait, I just thought of another.
You're too
0.
late. Robert Shapiro
All right.
and Carl Douglas.
I knew Carl
Kardashian.
Douglas, but I forgot. Oh, and then Robert Kardashian.
Kardashian.
Yeah. How did I miss that?
That's right. Oh, you missed that one.
I love them.
So did I win?
No, we got more.
Okay, you're up 8-5 over Funch. Let's do 4 more.
How many are left?
Do you have 4 more, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, you're
New York and California are first and second in total number of Jacob and Ronnie's lawyers. Which state is third with 91,000 lawyers? Florida, Illinois, or Texas?
Okay, Greg.
Florida, Illinois, or Texas. God, they need them in Florida. But, it's not. Yeah, I'll say Florida.
Andy.
Florida has the most idiots, but
Right.
Texas has, I think, the most like corporations. I'm going to go Texas.
Just because I think Greg's right, but I'm going to go Texas. Funch.
I'll say Texas.
Jacob.
Florida.
It is Texas.
Boom!
Oh,
Not dead yet.
This-
Not dead yet. Funch, you got 6. Greg's got 8. 3 more.
This musical composer was also a lawyer. Was it Beethoven, Tchaikovsky, or Mozart?
Greg.
Really? Let's go with Tchaikovsky.
All right, so I got to go with, I don't think it's Beethoven. So I'll go Mozart. Andy.
Tchaikovsky.
Oh, well, you can't catch him.
Well, I don't think I can catch anyone.
Yeah, you could have, but no, Funch.
Beethoven.
Okay, good. Jacob.
Beethoven.
It is Tchaikovsky.
It's over. Greg wins it.
Wow,
He's
That's
on
two
a
mi-
roll.
you should
two
have gone to
Michael games in
law.
a row.
You could have been the next Jacob.
Yeah, why did you go to law school? You should go work for Jacob. What are you doing working here?
My brother's a lawyer. My dad's a lawyer. Maybe I
There
just
you
got it
go.
in
It's
the
in your blood.
You have it in your blood, my friend.
That's
yes.
So, Jacob, Greg's brother, among his areas of expertise is he's a cannabis lawyer.
Wow.
Is that a good industry or a bad? Is that a growing industry or or not so great anymore?
So it definitely started as a very, very hot industry.
Right.
And within the past few months, they have set so many laws, and those
Oh,
laws
Greg,
are-
you were telling me this. This is
Yeah.
why your brother is thinking about transitioning out, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So when those laws are coming in, you're losing all of the people that were in there needing attorneys. The ones that are staying in there are following the law anyways. So based on the fact that the demand is not as much, it is definitely, starting to wean down. So a lot of people got in there, made the money, and made really good money, and now they're.
I would
you know,
think
they're
right
going-
now the people that need the lawyers in the weed industry are actually the people opening the dispensaries. Like, it's really complicated to open one. It's not easy at all.
So it's
Well,
extremely
and there's so
important.
many of them now.
Right, exactly. There's extremely important. But remember, the whole thing about these dispensaries was people were going out there and buying these licenses. And there were not a lot of people who had licenses to
Right.
not only sell, but also they started to put together some of these pot restaurants and pot bars and things like that. Well, city by city are beginning to knock those things down. So it's definitely becoming more difficult.
Absolutely truth. That's everything I've been hearing.
Jacob, by the way, do you want Chris Paul? We were kicking this around earlier. I do. I think he would be a good addition to the team. Andy would rather have Dennis Schroeder or D'Angelo Russell than Chris Paul. What do you? You're a big Laker fan. What do you think?
So I'll tell you, I would definitely like Chris Paul. It just depends on how much.
Yep.
Right. If you can get him at the veterans minimum, I would never say no to that because he can personally still take over a game where other people may not be playing so well.
Right.
I think you can never have enough talent, and when you have this leadership, it allows you to continue to also work on your youth movement, which we would like to have continuity with the likes of Reeves and Hachimura.
We also have the 17th pick if they don't trade it.
Exactly. So I don't think that you can go wrong with it, but obviously you got to limit how many games he's going to play because you need him to be around for the playoffs and not for the games that are really not as meaningful.
One thing that Rob Pelinka has been really good at, and Andy, I'm sure this comes up on Locked on Lakers a lot, is he finds kind of diamonds in the rough. Like he took Kuzma at 28. He got Josh Hart at 30.
I mean, the scouting department for
Austin
the Lakers
Reeves was undrafted.
Have been amazing.
I think you can match up the scouting department for the Lakers against anybody in the league. And they've got like a decade-plus long sample
and
size.
talking
to
about
prove it.
that, everybody's so excited about Max Christie.
Yeah,
It
he's
doesn't
really
matter
good.
Who I talk about, they keep throwing his name, and is he that good?
Yeah, and he's good. He's a good shooter. He can defend. He's long, and he's a good guy. He's like
Here's what
he's
gives
easy
me,
to root for. He's very
Here's what gives
likable.
me a lot of confidence with Christie. Last summer in Summer League, he was frankly awful. Like, I remember watching him going like, oh, my God, like, has this guy
Yeah.
actually played basketball? Wow. The time in between Summer League and preseason, he looked like a totally different player.
So he's got a good learning curve.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like a lot of Christie's potential. A lot.
Well, draft's Thursday. We got to roll it. Keep our fingers crossed. Jacob.
Jacob, before you go, one last one. The highest paying sector in the legal field belongs to what kind of lawyer? Corporate, medical, or criminal?
I'd be guessing.
I would say corporate.
It is medical. $150,000 a year, the average. Medical lawyers, yep.
So
It's
there
the
you
highest,
go. Jacob, get some medical care.
Yeah.
I guess so.
That's right. Yeah, get some medical cases.
Great to see
Thank
you
you,
as
guys.
always. Thanks for
Appreciate you.
playing. Go ahead and hit the super stager, Funch.
ESPN AM 710
Sedano and Scott Kaplan in studio. Michael's here. Andy's here. The gang's all here for Super Crosstalk.
Look at Cappy. He looks like he's going mountain climbing with all this gear he's got on. What are you doing?
Well, he's a man of many talents, Michael.
Yeah, I guess so. Jeez.
I do feel multiple sets of headphones.
Yeah, you got like 4 sets of headphones on Cap. What's going on? And only one of them are plugged in.
I feel like an idiot right now.
Well, I mean.
Because, look, I got on my backpack, which has all my crap in it.
Is that a fanny pack over your shoulder?
Yes.
No.
Yes, it is.
I would say it's more of a satchel.
Oh, it's a fanny pack.
No. Do you think, Michael?
Well, it's more like it looks like a pouch.
Like a pouch.
Yeah.
It's a Merce.
Yeah. And you see it's got the little red heart
mean?
right there. It means
I love the IE.
It means one love IE.
Yeah.
One love IE.
We got that at Yamava.
That's right.
Nice.
One love
What a
IE.
fortunate moment you found yourselves in.
Very fortunate that day. You were there for it.
For the San Bernardinans.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes, it was.
That day.
So I got my fanny pack satchel, my backpack. I got my headphones for our show. I can't even sit down. I got so much crap all over me.
Well, then take some of it off.
Look at what's going on.
Yeah, you do. You're
you better parachute
you're
out of the
overloaded
plane.
there.
You
a
look
little
like
bit,
you're going
Cappy.
to go off the grid to do radio.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Like he's on deployment or something.
Do you have more than one of those sweatshirts
No.
you're wearing? Or has Julie washed that since the
No,
Mandy's?
it's a great question. I do
Okay.
my laundry every other day, so
Okay.
this is always like right there for me to grab. How
Yeah.
often do you do your laundry? Do you even do your laundry?
Not very often.
So
I gotta
you
be
make
honest.
your wife do your laundry?
She does do it.
I can't.
I mean, not because I'm incapable of
Right.
it, but I mean, it just.
My wife is forbidden from touching the laundry. My
You do?
son
Really?
and I handle all of it.
You do her laundry?
All of it.
Her unmentionables?
Yep.
What's
all of it.
unmentionable? What can't you
I
mention?
say
Her
put
panties?
him in. I say
yeah, what is this? 1950?
Put him in the hamper.
What are you,
and-
Ricky Ricardo and Lucy?
We're trying to exhibit a little bit of class around there, gentlemen.
I have great ability, Michael, to get stains out of anything. Ask Bergman.
Really?
Okay.
Wow.
That's a good skill to have, I would imagine.
It's Bergman. Did I not get? I think that shirt you have on right now
What's your
is the
secret?
one.
Yeah,
I
what's
got.
your
I got
secret?
it out. It was all in the corner over here.
What's your secret?
Okay,
What do you
but
do?
what do you use in like a office setting? Like, what's your go-to that we could find at like a grocery store very quickly?
Amazon, you can find it.
Okay.
It's called Motzenbachers.
Okay.
All right. That just like it sounds. Mostenbacher.
Okay.
Motzenbachers. They have a set. It's 3 bottles. 3
Okay.
small bottles are about this high, and depending on what the stain is, it comes out.
Like
So,
wine.
like-
Can you get wine out? Red wine?
all of it.
Like,
What?
What about
Mason
oil?
gave me oil. I can get. I
Yeah.
can get ink. Mason gave me blue ink. A pen
Wow.
broke.
Matzenbachers?
And I got Motzenbachers.
And it doesn't damage the material?
No, it is the greatest stuff ever.
Oh.
And so, but you got to pre-soak it. Like Bergman didn't know this. This sometimes gets me. It's called. Oh wait, you bring more gummies?
I brought you a new product, John Ireland.
I love that.
I mean, he just got like a year's supply recently from our friends at the Green Cross at Torrance.
I brought you another product to try to, in the ongoing effort to make you sleep.
Yes.
We've brought a new product for
well,
experimentation
you heard
today.
I almost killed Chris Morales.
What do you mean you almost killed him?
So, Cappy, you gave me those deep sleep gummies,
Right.
And I gave Chris 2 of them to use over the weekend.
Yeah.
And he had an adverse reaction.
Yeah, he
to
told
them,
me. Oh, yeah.
And it was not good.
He bugged
Andy,
out.
you okay?
Oh, I was trying to see what
No,
the
you look
gummies
like you're
were.
salivating over there. Like, give me those gummies.
I'm curious.
So-
Oh, all right.
I am particular.
George, those are the 3 bottles: green cap, red cap, blue cap. It's $15.
What do you think?
It'll get anything out. And like Bergman, when
I'm a mess, so
yeah,
I mean,
when
can order it.
Bergman gave me his sweatshirt, he didn't know what the stain was.
Nope, no clue.
So I had to triple treat that one.
Yeah.
I did. I hit it with the green, the red, and the blue.
Yeah. Oh,
wow.
Soaked it overnight.
Soak
Washed
it-
it the next
soak it in
day.
what?
I soaked it in warm water with baking soda.
Oh, okay.
And the stain remover, and the stain was gone. And then I washed it with fabric softener and gave it back to Bergman.
And it's super soft now. So whatever you did to it is
Ireland
fantastic.
is like the MacGyver of cleaning.
Yeah.
I mean, geez. Do you carry that in the bag?
No, it's in my laundry room. I have a very large laundry room.
I would like to say this. The man has a large laundry room, okay? But on June 20th at 4:01 p.m., I want to put in the first nomination for John Ireland for next year's Mandy's for Man of the People. Anybody who's this passionate about his laundry and is willing to help a friend with his stain, that's a man of
Who
the people.
forbids his wife to do the laundry?
Right.
Right.
That is a
Yeah.
man of the people.
I just got a text from Laura. She joins me in laundry obsession.
Yeah.
We're both obsessed with laundry. God bless you.
Yeah. Me too.
Anybody, if you work here, don't be sending me stuff off the street. But if you work here and you got something you cannot get a stain out of, send it to me.
Excuse me? Point of information?
Yeah.
What if they're underwear?
Done. Bring it on.
Oh, jeez.
Put it in a
Why do you always get to
Cappy,
go that
That's a
route?
good question.
Cappy, put it in a plastic bag and hand it to me.
Michael, I have these underpants that I like.
Yeah.
And they're like super colorful on the outside, but they're all white on the inside.
Right.
How is that even possible?
I
They're
don't know
not
how
so
they do
white
it.
on the inside anymore. I got you. Right here, Cap. I'm going to hit it with the green, the red, and the yellow, and we're home.
Now, is it because you're leaking or skid marks?
Oh my God!
That's a fair question, I think.
What about the
By the way,
unmentionables?
Cappy,
No, we're classing it up
if
around
you
here.
can tell me exactly what the stains are,
Off
it
the air.
improves my chances.
Please, off
Oh,
here.
really?
Off here.
Really?
Thank you,
Getting
Greg.
it clean. Bergman could not tell me, and I was able to do it anyway. But Mason knew. He goes, "This is a blue Bic pen."
You are the stain whisperer.
This
I
is the
am.
man of the people. If you're
am.
willing to take my soiled underpants and clean them like
tell
that,
you, I'll tell you.
Not only that, I'll take anything.
what an
do you
angel.
do you use like blue gloves?
No.
No?
No, I have a lot of bleach, though. If it's white,
I picture
it's
Michael
heavy
using
duty
blue
bleach.
gloves for his own laundry.
That's right.
He's that germaphobic.
My wife the other day came home with she was playing tennis and she had a visor and it was really stained and she was trying to work on it and I said, "What are you doing?" And she goes, "Well, I think I can get this out." I go, "You're forbidden from being in this room. Leave immediately."
Right, this is my room.
Yes, and then I had the thing clean in an hour and a half.
You ever get yellow out of a white T-shirt
Yes.
in the
I know exactly
underarms?
how to do it.
Really?
Yeah. White.
You know what I'm talking about?
Hey, Cappy.
Yeah.
White vinegar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, soak it in
Jeez.
white vinegar.
Wow.
It's got to be
With
down to the
hot,
science.
with hot water and OxyClean. Gone.
This is unbelievable.
I know.
Yeah.
This is
Saves your life. You don't have to
unbelievable.
spend
Yeah.
any money on shirts
Right?
anymore.
Right? Unreal. Michael,
Yes.
speaking of germophobia and cleanliness and so on, so you're in my head last night because I was staying in my downtown crib. You know, I now have a crib downtown. Did you know that?
Your wife kicked you out?
No, she didn't kick me out. It's just that when I come up, I like to have a crib.
okay.
So now
Nice.
I stay downtown, downtown LA.
A hotel or apartment?
I think of it as an apartment, but it's really a hotel.
Okay.
It's the East Central. It's right across the street.
All right.
Place is great. Anyway, last night I get done with the radio show. George and I we hug it out. We say goodbye. Wish you see you tomorrow. Can't wait to see you, buddy. Love you. And I go over to the hotel.
Very emotional.
and
goodbye.
I
Hey, you never know. You're not going to see him again.
right. And I go to my little Greek spot down the road. It's called Falafels. Okay, it's about 4 blocks down the road down Figueroa. Right. So I get back to the hotel. Now I've walked about 8 blocks by this point. Just about to go into the hotel room. And I decide I got to take my shoes off because I just walked 8 blocks on the street.
Right.
You know, who knows what I walked through.
Yeah.
So I had to take my shoes off before going in.
You could leave them at the door. You don't have to walk all the way in the room.
Well, I did. I took them off outside.
But I'm talking about once you
But he's
open
saying
the door
go in
and then
first
take them
because
off.
you're in a public hallway,
Right.
which is still pretty gross.
Exactly.
So I took them off in the hallway.
Yeah.
Now, bad move. He
Yeah.
says you got to open the door first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the room. Room is cleaner than the public
Yes.
hallway.
Didn't think of that. Didn't think of that.
And get some sheets and put them on the floor.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't do that either. I took the shoes off, but I had the socks on. Then I got right over to the closet. I got stripped butt naked right there on the spot.
Yeah.
And then I put on a robe. Now, you wouldn't wear.
No, you don't know if that robe's been washed. Right? They could have just hung it up from the previous
So, Michael, you
guest
never
and just-
used the
Oh, no. Are
I
you
don't
kidding
use
me?
the hotel robe either, Michael.
No way.
yeah.
You don't know
And
if
they
there's been
said
washed.
I was the crazy one.
Yeah. No, man, those things are nasty.
No,
You
no,
gotta
no.
look for stains on it. Let Ireland take care of them.
Oh, yeah. Johnny, my hotel robe needs a little
So,
Stain removal.
Michael,
Yeah.
I pictured you as somebody who would take advantage of the hotel robes. You don't touch them.
I don't
huh?
trust those, man. You think the maids actually pick them up off the bed, put them in the laundry? They
Yeah, I
just
never
hang
wear
them
them
things
either.
right back up.
I never wear them either.
Oh, no, I think they wash them all.
And plus, I take my robes and I put them like on the floor around my bed. So if people,
you do?
I use them as
So this is what surprised me about Michael. So whenever we're on the road, like let's say like for the playoffs, we're in a city for like 4 days. So Michael will put the do not disturb on his door
Yeah.
and never take it off. He doesn't let
Same.
he doesn't let the maids in at any point. I will make a point. I'll go for a walk around the city to let the cleaning
Why?
ladies in because I love a fresh,
Nice,
clean
clean room?
sheets every day. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
No, as long as I got fresh towels and toilet paper, I'm good. Leave me alone.
Same here.
Yeah. And don't come in my stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that's the other part.
Yeah.
Like for example, if you had the choice of valet parking is right here and self parking is right here, which would you prefer to do?
Self park all the
Always,
time.
always self
Let
parking.
me give people.
Always.
Let me give
Well,
people a
if
tip.
it's that close, yes.
Always, always, always when you can't self-park.
Mm-hmm.
3 of my best friends in high school were valet parking guys. They swear to me that every valet parker goes through your car.
Yeah, of course.
And if you leave something that they think they can take
Mm-hmm.
and you won't notice, they'll take it.
Oh no, they'll take stuff that you will notice too. And then when you go, hey, they took my stuff.
My sunglasses, yeah.
Well, anyway, whatever. But I mean, sunglasses is an example. For me, I was thinking
You meant stuff.
Yeah, like, hey, I had a bunch of stuff in here. And
You're
then
an idiot.
They're like, we don't know what you're talking
It
about,
probably
bro.
wouldn't melt anyway. You're a dummy.
You ever see the scene in Ferris Bueller where he has that nice car and
Yeah.
they take it for Larry Flash Jenkins takes it for a joyride?
Richard Edson.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, don't valet park your car unless you have to. The only valet parkers I trust, Michael, are the guys at Staples.
That's right.
Crypto.com.
Those guys are good. That's right.
Oh,
Down
they
the
do
loading
good
dock.
stuff.
Yeah, those guys are the best.
Yep.
By the way, the towels at the East Central.
Yeah.
You've never felt a softer towel in your
Now,
life.
do you pick the towels up? What I always do, I don't care what hotel I stay at, pick the towels up and look to see if any stains are on them.
I don't do
Ooh.
that. I don't do that.
Makes your skin crawl. You pick up a towel and you see stains on it.
Yeah, I don't do that.
I always expect them. I give them a full inspection, Sedano.
You do.
And if the towel has a little stain, a little spot, I throw it on the floor. So
I talked to Mike Trudell plenty. I know your ordeal.
You got to do that. Oh, that makes my skin crawl when I see a stain on a towel.
Michael looks like, you guys remember the movie The Andromeda Strain? After you look at Michael's room when he's had a chance to
settle in,
to Michaelize it,
yeah,
it's got sheets on the floor. Cap, you cannot set foot on a part of Michael's hotel room where you would not be on top of a sheet or a towel.
What about the chairs?
I don't sit.
covered.
I don't sit in the chairs.
Oh, and if he
never.
does, he takes, like, when we do games, George, you'll notice, like next time here, because you're one of the only people that's on the road with us, look at the chair when Michael gets up. It's got a full-length towel from the hotel on top of the chair.
At the arena?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
And then they'll say,
come on.
and we leave, and the usher will go, Mr. Thompson, do you want your towel? No, keep it as a souvenir.
Oh, my God, as a souvenir.
Why not? I was sitting on it. So what? Just wash it in the hot water.
Is anybody allowed in your hotel room?
Yeah, you can come in, but don't stay long.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah, Trudell used
Don't
to
sit down.
Trudell used to bring the Comrex in there.
Yeah. No way.
Michael would limit him to where he could
I would
go.
go to his room, and he'd make sure I have the bathrobes for me to sit on the chairs. Trudell will sit on anything in his shorts. One time we were in this hotel with stains all over the sofa in the room.
Michael
and he sat on it.
Michael almost didn't do the show.
Yeah.
He was so grossed out by it.
He said, "Oh, come on." He said I was paranoid. He just sat on that sofa with all kind of stains on it. I said, man, you're sick.
Now, do you think because you're so hyper aware of this, paranoid, like vigilant, sometimes you might be imagining stains,
Probably.
seeing them?
Probably you have to look at the towel 3 or 4 times to think I see a spot. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
It
what
could be just a
movie was
shadow.
that, Andy?
Exactly.
Ocean's 11, where they had the blue light glasses.
Yeah.
Or you don't see it.
And by the way, do you sit on the quilt on top of the bed?
Yes.
You don't move that? Well,
Nice.
you don't get a pair of tongs and take it off?
No.
Do you know how many stains are on that? What people do on those things?
I know.
You know what people do under those things?
Well, I figured they changed. They wash the sheets, right? They got to wash the sheets.
Of course
the
they
bed.
do.
Yeah,
Naturally.
so I trust that at least. But I do look for bed bugs every time I check into a hotel.
So, Andy Kamenetsky, we haven't focused in on you here in this Super Crosstalk. I'd like to spend a couple of moments, if I may.
Well, first of all, can you explain what you brought me?
Well, this is a 10 milligram deal. Just
Okay, so
take
I gotta
one.
take 2.
Well, okay, for
Is
you
it
to
dope?
take 2.
Thank you.
Is it dope?
It's
You
not
want-
dope. It's
You want money?
It's medicine. No, I don't want money.
It's
Thank you.
Sleep aids.
Yes, that's right.
So you get high and go to sleep.
No, not necessarily.
What does it do for you?
No, he knows I have trouble sleeping, so he gives me stuff that helps.
So
me
what does
go to
that make you? How does that make you go to sleep?
sleep. Knocks me out.
So it's dope.
Well, no. So think about it more like pharmaceutical versus holistic. You see what I mean? Pharmaceutical is a medication, a pill. You got to get a prescription. This is more of a holistic way of looking at things.
Like smoking a joint to get sleepy.
Yeah, although in this case you're eating it, so you're putting it
Eating a
into
joint.
your bloodstream. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quicker, and then you don't have to deal with the smoke.
Yeah, not eating a joint, eating a gummy.
What's the difference?
It's
A gummy's
easier.
a joint, right?
And there's no
No.
smoke,
Yeah.
Oh,
so it doesn't stink up the room. All right, what was your question for Andy?
Andy, I feel like, and I don't think it's justified at all, that you and your brother have taken a lot of heat.
We sure have.
Oh, no. I stood up for you.
You guys
were great.
You guys destroyed it.
Yes.
And at the Mandy's, now one of you had handwritten paper. That was you, I believe.
It was me.
And Brian had his notes on his
well,
phone.
it wasn't handwritten. It was printed
Oh.
from a laptop.
Okay, got it. I want to make sure we're clear on that. I thought you guys were awesome.
Thank you.
You were hilarious. Matter of fact, George, you referenced yesterday
The joke that we were doing a listening session with the BBBs, the big Bristol bosses.
Right.
And what did we talk? Oh, he was complimenting our kind of back and forth that we have on the show. And I said, Lindsay, I think, brought up the point about the salary cap stuff that you mentioned in your monologue. And I said, yeah, Andy Kamenetsky and Brian Kamenetsky had a funny joke, which is that I was trying to teach the salary cap to like a 4th grader, to Cappy. The problem is the 4th grader would have gotten it before Cappy.
Yes. I love that joke.
Not untrue.
I love that joke.
Thank
you. guys put a lot of time into that
Now,
monologue.
We did, actually.
Now, that's the problem. Now, they put a lot of time into the
Well,
monologue.
Chris was mad about the
as,
length.
As,
Which was
as
ridiculous.
George
You nailed
Sedano
everybody.
likes to say, Both things can be true.
Wow.
They can kill it like you did. Andy and Brian were very funny and very good. They went too long.
Well, my thing again, Morales saw all of the material. He had access to our Google Doc. He sent us an email because he saw inside the Google Doc, Brian and I were leaving notes for each other.
Wait a second. Here comes Gutless.
5 to 6 minutes.
It also said add material. You don't need to keep cutting
5
stuff.
6 minutes.
You saw how long
5,
our
6
set
minutes.
was. Then why did you tell
Why
us
did
not
you
to?
go 15:40?
Because we went off the set list. You said was fine.
15.
By the way,
It's
to your
okay.
defense, to roast the entire station
Right.
could not happen in 5 or 6
And I want you to
minutes
know-
unless you were a professional comedian.
Which, by the way, you were. And listen,
We had to hold for laughs. I mean,
15
that's a good 5 minutes right there.
15:40 felt like 6 minutes to me.
Thank you.
Okay.
But we were definitely addressing the fact that your line about Cappy was hilarious. And
No,
we got to laugh
there was
about it.
even more to it. You had another line. You were like, one guy's always telling you how much he knows, and the other guy's telling you, like, I don't know how you
Yeah,
said
it was one guy presents himself aggressively as Mr. Know-It-All, and the other one aggressively presents himself as Mr. Know-Nothing.
Sad but true. And that is what's coming up next. Sedano and Cap. Lots of silliness. ESPN LA.